Okay, we're live.
We're live.
I woke up alive this
I
morning.
did too. It was a good start. Do we get
Yes.
to say good morning to everybody out there
How many people do we have on?
yet?
I'm excited.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have my partner in crime.
We took the long way around to work today, too. It's like,
So I told them
we
more
got-
houses are going in.
we got to
Nightmare.
talk shop on the way over.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Oh,
There
take it
actually
away.
is. Is everybody asleep right now?
Must be.
Well-
Either in Kathy's class or
Oh,
Denise's
yeah.
class.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
That's where all
yeah.
the, all our
Yes.
subscribers are in my class.
Mhm. Good morning, Maria. So we have What's Normal. We have Maria. We
yeah.
have Phyllis. We have a fun day planned. And when the good morning, Gail. And when the boss is away, then we can really
We
be
play.
silly.
I'm sure she's not watching.
No, I don't think so. She's
No,
got too
she's
much.
got
Good
a lot
morning,
going on.
Maureen, Stephanie. All right. So, in case you're wondering what we're doing today, you see we have this beautiful machine in front of us. We have a guest speaker today that's going to show you how wonderful the machine is.
Not me.
But you could do it
Okay.
too. But before we get started, we want to talk about a few things going on in the store. So turn that phone down. So don't forget, we have our Creative Getaway 2.0. This is a sewing retreat, a 3-day, where it is packed with lots of knowledge. And we have Gail Yellen here.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
So
I'm all
we're
excited about Gail Yellen. She's a
Yeah.
nationally known expert in the sergers, and she's going to be
Cool.
working on the L890 serger that we have here. So come and learn. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
And we have new things they're going to be working on this
yeah,
event.
that's what I heard. The
Mhm.
project. That's right. They get to work on
The machines.
the machines
Mhm.
and make a project on some of these machines.
Yes, and that's March 26th through March 28th. That's a Thursday through a Saturday, 9 to 4. We will have snacks. We will serve you lunch. So like I said, it's like a sewing retreat. You will have a blast. Last year, when people found out how fun it was, they were really disappointed they didn't get signed up.
Mhm. And that may happen again. So
Mhm.
you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
make sure that you get
Hurry up.
signed up.
Mhm.
And yeah, you'll be looking at different things that's sewing, serging, quilting, embroidery, software. And so
Yes.
you'll get a little bit of everything there, but the knowledge that you're going to get with this, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have to bring a thing. You register
yourself.
and you just walk in. And
Mhm.
the other thing that's neat about it is closed to the public. So
Yeah.
it's just whoever has
Uh-huh.
registered for this event, that's it. So
Yes.
you're our guests and you get to have fun.
Uh-huh. The store is yours for 3 days.
So are we.
So make sure you get signed up because it is filling up fast and you don't want to miss out on this event. The world of knowledge.
Yeah, so if you have any
Mhm.
questions on how to sign up or anything, just give us a call and the phone number 559-439-2560.
I'm glad
Oh,
you know it.
I
'Cause
almost gave out
don't.
my number.
Go ahead, do it. All right. And then, so after you sign up for this, we also have the mini Little Poppins bag. That is February 19th
so
and February
cute.
20th. Oh, next week. Oh, wow. And the price is $149. So make sure you come and do that. It's a great bag. It's the right size. I know we have one customer that has made several of them. She coordinates it with whatever she's wearing that day. So it's pretty cool.
And she comes to another
Mhm.
class and another class. So there's
Uh-huh,
always something
yeah.
to learn on these classes
Yeah.
because you get
Mhm.
you get your project, but you also are learning all these techniques
Yeah.
that you get to take
Mhm.
with you and apply to another bag or other bag patterns. So,
Yeah. And each instructor offers more ways of doing things easier.
Oh,
So
yeah. That's
yeah.
a fun.
you
part of
always
it.
go away with a world of knowledge. And
Alright.
then next one. Oh, the rope workshop, February 21st from 9:30 to 4. That price is $65. Denise's bowls, oh, her imagination just doesn't stop. You have to take one of her classes. If you have not experienced it yet, take a class.
Is this the class that after you do the initial class with her, you can get any
Yes.
project that you want
Mhm.
and she'll help you with it?
Yes. Yeah. And she's really good. She can multitask with whatever everybody's doing in the class.
Alright, and then one other one, and then we can get our guest on.
And Judy Niemeyer, skill building, Evergreen,
Oh, that's cool.
Evergreen Fern. That is February 23rd and February 24th. Wendy Holt teaches this class. It's $149. And if you've never paper pieced before, come take her class. She makes it so easy. And that's a really pretty
Mhm.
sample right there. I love it. So make sure you get signed up for that too. Good morning, Colleen.
Wow.
Good morning, Becky.
Debbie.
Alright.
Yes.
Actually, one other thing.
Oh, one other thing.
Oh,
Okay. And don't forget, we give away a $50 gift card. I am trying to get you girls $100. So get us up to 100 views with your friends, likes and shares.
What else
Share
is-
the love.
What else is this weekend?
What is this weekend? Valentine's Day. Yeah.
What would make a good gift?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, a gift card. Drop hints to your husband and your family that you would love a gift card from AVS.
Instead of chocolate, I want a
Yeah.
gift card from
Yeah.
Authorized Vacuum Sew.
Uh-huh. It's only fabric calories.
I like that.
Make sure you come in. And our Valentine stuff is still 50% off, but man, is it flying out the door. I can't believe how much is gone.
Yeah. I didn't even get
Yeah.
a chance to shop it.
I
It just-
know.
yeah.
It just flew. And so today we have a guest speaker, Kate Quinn, and she is going to talk about the Janome 9410. Welcome, Kate.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be back with your team again. We had such a good time when I was there before.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. So what are you going to show us today?
So I'll tell you a little story. The previous iteration of the model that we're going to talk about today was the 9450. And I went to an event and I was an educator and I didn't work for Janome at that time. And I had 50 machines, brand new, and 50 students each day over 3 days. And not one machine failure. I was converted.
Wow.
Nice.
But I've never experienced that as an educator, and this was a technique that people hadn't done before, and it was just so phenomenally successful. And I
Wow.
absolutely love these models because they're so reliable and they have a lot. When you pick up a 9410, a 9480, they are not a basic machine, but they're machines that you can grow into and expand your creativity. They're just so fun to play with. So my goal today is just to kind of show you some of the cool things that come with it, a few specialty features, and just how powerful it is and how easy it is to interact with the machine. It's smart. It helps you do the things that you want to do, and it's really easy to navigate. So that's kind of the fun things that I want to share. So I finished this atop yesterday. So
Oh, wow.
that was pretty fun. So I wanted to show it off and put it up here so you could see it using the fabulous O foot. So we'll be sharing that and a bunch
Oh,
of
cool.
other details.
Oh, good.
So if you would like, you guys want to put up the machine camera and I'll give a quick overview and we'll put that on full screen so you could see it really well. So I'm going to just make sure that the camera gives you a great view. Throughout the day today, we'll be adjusting the camera here to there just to make sure you could see all of the good things. Right? Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, it is.
Rose gold, and it is so big right here.
Yeah.
This space
Lots
is
of workspace.
11 inches. It's got a fabulous lighting. So you can see right here, the lighting is actually really good. And there's also lighting right here. This machine cuts away right down to the needle. So when I'm sitting right there, I can look right down into the foot and I don't have to tussle around to try and get a really good view of my project. This right here opens up. I can brush this out and clean it. I can put the magnifier in if I had that. And I can also just make sure that it's threaded properly if I have any concerns. Here is another awesome feature right on the top right here. You can see all of this information. There's over 300 stitches on this machine and 11 buttonholes. It does include a few fonts. So right here, I can quickly see anything that I want to, and right where it is located, all these little black bars tell you where those stitches are found on the machine. So
That is so handy.
it is so handy, so convenient, and it shows you in a couple of more places as well. So let's kind of key in on the machine. Can we bring up the machine a little bigger?
No.
No, you can't do just this as a single screen?
It is a single screen. Right.
It is a single. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to try and get in just a little closer for you guys then. All right. So on this screen, this is about 5-inch screen, and it shows so much. Right here, it shows what the stitch is, what the suggested foot is. These are different stitch options that I can turn on or off, including the twin needle guard. So if that's on, the machine won't stitch in ways that it can't when it has a twin needle. The way that this machine works is these boxes, you can see the blue highlight right there. Each one of these, as you go across, is a tab, and it has special things in each tab. This one is utility. This is your decorative choices. This is scripts and font, tapering, and this little t-shirt has a whole host of amazing treasures. We'll get to that in just a minute. But right here, I just want to start with this one. This is just your basic stitches. You can see it's got straight, triple, zigzag, things that you might need. When you're navigating in this screen, you've also got some arrows down here that you can use to maneuver around. This is your setting menu. I can turn on the auto cut feature. I can, do a lot of different things that adjust the lighting or the different options within the machine. Right here, this is again another way to see the stitch menu. So I can see all of the stitches in the utility menu, and you can see that this is one of 14 screens. So if I want to go to another screen, I can do that very easily, and I can see all of those stitches and navigate around, and I can select the stitch right from here. So if I go back to stitch number 1 right there, and I want to do this reinforcing stitch, I can select it right from that menu. So it's very, very easy to maneuver around with this machine and get to know it. I'm going to show you real quick something that is my favorite. I like to work with this little box right here. When I touch this little triangle, it opens up the machine settings menu, and this is true for every stitch. Whenever you're navigating around, say that I want the tension to be a little higher, I can touch, touch, touch. Or if I want my stitch length to be shorter or longer, or I want to move my needle position, this is a straight stitch, so 4.5 is marking that the needle is in the center because this machine is a 9mm machine. So when you see this 4.5 millimeter, right now the needle would be right in the center of that 9mm width, but I could move that to any position that I want to. I want to show you one more thing. Let's say I make some adjustments to my stitch, right? I move things around. If I want to save it, we have a favorite stitch option, and I can save that for that project, and the little brackets tell you that you've made those changes. And if I don't want to save it, if I press the default, it brings me right back. I don't have to guess that the machine is back at the factory setting. I can just touch that default button, and right away I know it's exactly where it was when the machine was fresh. So very easy to use this, and this screen is super powerful and important. It's your friend. I'm going to move us and to the center a little bit more so we can just show you the buttons really quickly. These are very useful. Janome keeps the same platform. So if you've ever had a Janome machine and you want to move up to this machine, you won't have to be fumbling around. All of those buttons are basically in the same place. So reverse button, locking stitch, the light just means that it is available to be used. It'll start blinking if I push it, and then it will do its task. This is your needle up down button, and this is your presser foot up down button. One of the unique features about this button, if you've been used to reaching your hand back here and lifting up your presser foot, if I use the button and I press the gas, then my machine is automatically going to lower that foot. Okay, and so right here, when I'm done with that locking stitch that we chose, I press this reverse button and it automatically did this little locking stitch right at the end when I told it to. So this feature is available both with the back stitch function and the tacking off function. Those are stitches number 2 and 3. So can you imagine, you don't have to hold this anymore to get it to do that tie off for you. I just tap that and then the machine knows I'm at the end of my seam and it will automatically do that tying off feature for me. And I can set it where it does it at the beginning and the end, or with the regular stitch, I can just choose the locking stitch at the end. This is an example of how smart and functional that the machine is for all your sewing tasks. Okay, so let me talk just a little bit about a couple of the other features that we didn't touch on yet. The machine is very, very practical in the sense that, hang on just a second, I got to cough for a second. It's going to stitch out at 1,060 stitches per minute. So for example, most people don't sew that fast, right? We don't always have to go that fast. But if we're working on some straight seams and we just want to rip through all 200 pieces of whatever, I can have that speed all the way up here. But if I don't, I can go ahead and lower that speed down to whatever is a comfortable speed for me to work. So this is very practical. And then you'll note that we also have the start stop button. If I want to sew, I'm just going to come out just a little bit so you can see also the screen over here, and I'm going to close this. If I try to sew using this button right here, look at what the machine's going to talk to me. It's going to say, remove your foot control. It knows that the foot control is plugged in, and this is a way that the machine communicates what's going on with you. This doesn't mean there's something wrong. You'll see things like this a lot, and the machine is just confirming that you're making a choice or that you want to do something or that you need to lower your feed dogs. So it communicates with you in a very smart way. So if I want to use the button, I would go ahead and I would unplug the foot control right here. So you can see. And now let's just pick a fun decorative stitch. We'll pick something under this second tab where the decorative stitches are. Okay, let's just make something really pretty. How about this crazy number 7 here? And now I can use the button. And again, here's your slider. I can make it sew slower, faster, whatever I need. And one of the things I love about this is I've got 7-piece feed dog system on this machine. Why is that important? So look at how well it's feeding this fabric, right? If I'm not touching it, I do guide it, right? I want it to stay straight. But pretty much these feed dogs are evenly processing all of that fabric towards the back. So I don't have to grip for dear life or do all this difficult things. When I'm done, if I was on this stitch and I press the locking button, it's going to finish the pattern and it will tie off for me. And this machine is already set with the auto lock cut feature. So it went ahead and it cut that. Now that's an option for you. You can turn that on in settings or turn it off. But if you're doing a lot of pieces in a row and you want to just have the thread cut so you don't have to get in there every time, That is super convenient, isn't it? Look how beautiful that stitch is. It's so gorgeous. Love it. So pretty. Okay, so we've shown you some of those decorative stitches there. And we've shown you the auto lock feature. And we'll just do one more basic utility stitch before we move on. We'll just show you the zigzag. And I'm going to show you on the screen as well when we do this zigzag. You've got different positions. You can set the right needle position, the center position. You have a lot of options right there. And let's say we want our zigzag to be really wide. If you look right on the screen as we make our adjustment, those settings are going to reflect right there. So I can quickly see exactly what I want to see. One other feature that I thought was useful to show when we're doing this zigzag is that this machine has auto tensioning system. So what that means is if I have the same top and bottom thread, the machine is able to detect how much pressure is on the bobbin thread and on the top thread, and it adjusts the tension so we get an absolutely beautiful stitch. So we're still in the push button mode here. So here's my zigzag, and here's how fast it can go. And here I'll just press that and we'll let it finish, and then it's going to cut for us. So there is that beautiful zigzag right there. I can do all kinds of adjustments to my stitches right there on the screen. And in fact, right on the bottom where you see the little foot with the arrow, that is presser foot pressure. Sometimes with machines, they would have that as a dial. With this machine, it's an electronic change and it is a number. So I never have to guess if I'm back to the original setting. Again, I can just press that default button and that initial pressure foot setting will go right back to the standard. That makes it so easy to adjust. If I have a thick sandwich or a thin sandwich, I can get a very precise feed. So let's see, we got a couple of fun things that we got set up for you guys. I thought we would go ahead and show you the buttonhole. Let me check in with Barbie and Mary real quick. Were there any questions maybe that you would want me to address before I go on? Has anybody asked?
Any questions?
Well, maybe at the end on that one question that you had, but no, I know as far as using this machine, it is so helpful with the information that it has. You can learn it so quickly. And
you can. I love that. I feel like, you know, sometimes when you turn on an unfamiliar machine, you feel like, oh my gosh, I can never do that. And once they just explained like for 2 or 3 minutes, I was like, oh, I could do everything I want to do. I didn't feel any big learning curve. I mean, I think this machine has a lot to explore. That's the fun part about it. It's, you know, it's like an endless little treasure trove, but it's not difficult to maneuver around in it. So I got to show you this right here. This piece right here, this is the slide-on tray. So you just pull out right there, and very easy to use. You have storage on the front and the back. And the reason I'm opening this is because I want to get out my buttonhole foot, because I'm going to show you that really quickly. And look, it even has the button stabilizing plate, which helps your fabric move really well. So you can actually get a fabulous stitch. And you can see I have a tiny little button in there. It's little, but it does a really good job. So I think I saw somebody said they don't recommend the 9mm because the fabric got bunched up. So this is a zigzag stitch, right? And so if you're stabilizing your fabric properly and you have the proper number of layers, it should feed just beautifully. But if I'm going to sew with a straight stitch, I'm going to use the alternate plate that comes with this to give me an absolutely dynamite straight stitch with support. And we'll be demoing that in just a little bit. We're going to do sort of all of the zigzaggy demos where the needle's going to move side to side. And then when we move over to the quilting side of the house, I'll put the straight stitch plate on and you'll be able to see how fabulous that's going to work. Okay, so these are snap-on feet, so easy to make any adjustment that we might need to. I'm going to go ahead and put this back down in here out of my way. The other thing I wanted to mention is there is a lot that comes with this machine. And right now with the red tag sale, you will not have to provide your own little plastic tray. You're going to get this amazing box that has storage room for all of it, including your throat plates, your buttonhole, little pockets for your feet, little bobbin holders and everything. And that's part of the special that is available with this machine right now. So not only will you have this storage space, but you'll have an amazing box that fits all the accessories very particularly. So that's great. And the girls can show you that when we go back to them, okay? Okay, so snapping on, I'm gonna put my A foot up here so it doesn't get lost. And just really quickly to show you what I've got, I've marked my buttonholes, right? They're about 1.5 inches apart, and I've marked the start point. And the reason that that's useful is then when we put that in, we're going to have the start position for that. So the buttons always move towards the back once we put that on. So real quick, let's just go ahead and put this on. And I'm going to put this in and I'll line up that first hole. So buttonholes are super easy to actually sew with this machine. I'm going to try to line it up right here so I get right to that first little dot. And I've got like a little mark where the center position will be. And I want to put that top thread through the buttonhole first. So I'm going to go ahead and select our buttonhole. I'm on the zigzag, that's why it went crazy. So right here, if I select my stitches, I can just scroll over and we'll just pick this first buttonhole. That's just the standard buttonhole. So really easy to set that up. And now I was able to pull my thread underneath there. Okay, so I'm going to get my needle set up right at the little point right there. Let's see if I can find it. There's a little red mark that helps center everything. And then right here, mine is canted. I'm going to line it up right against the stabilization plate to make it nice and straight. Once I have everything set up here and my thread out, there's a little lever that you just pull down. And this is where it knows how big the button is. And this is something I love to do with the button, with the press button, because I don't want to stand there and hold on to that while it's sewing. So it's doing the first line, the stabilization, then the zigzag, then the top. It's going to do the bottom bar tack and the side. And right there is the top bar tack. Because we have the auto lock turned on, it's actually going to cut right away. And then if I want to, I can just move right down to the next tick mark and it's going to sew the button this way. And each one of these buttons will be very precisely the same size. So absolutely love how easy it was. I mean, literally, I just stabilized that. If this was the placket, you may want to fold it over to have a clean edge or anything like that. But right there, then I could just do my buttonholes and I can cut them and I'll be ready to wear my garment in a flash. So easy. And there's 11 different appearances of the buttonhole, including corded buttonholes and things like that. So it gives you a lot of choices to make an absolutely beautiful buttonhole. Let's go ahead and move on to our next little bit. So I wanted to show you, did you guys have a question? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, we do have a question from one of our customers.
Oh, I can't.
Is that about the
I
quarter
can't
inch
read it because
seam?
I have my glasses
Oh, you
on.
don't have your glasses on. They wanted to
Oh.
know what's your favorite way to set up for a scant 1/4 inch seam?
You know what? We'll definitely get to that. So the reason I'm going to do these things first is because I have the zigzag plate on. And when I use my scant 1/4, I want to use the straight stitch plate. So we're going to kind of do everything just a little bit on the sewing side, and then we'll move to the quilting side. So John, I do see your question and I will definitely answer that. So thanks for asking that. I'm a quilter, so that is very important to me. So it's something I definitely will cover. So let's talk about some of the other feet that are in this little group. So the next one I want to show you, again, these are snap-on feet, so super easy to change the feet at any time. And I'll just put this back down here, keep us organized. The next one I want to show is this over edge foot, and I'm going to show you a sample of it that I've done in the past, and then we'll show you what it's useful for. So you can see, I'll try and bring it up close. Can you see that? So this is a beautiful variegated thread, and I just went around the edge with this overcasting, and the foot is really unique. So let me just show you it up close too. This little wire that is on there, what its purpose is it lifts up the thread so that as I go over the edge, the fabric will not roll because the thread is too tight. It allows a little bit of space so that that edge will stay nice and flat. And so that's really useful. So we mentioned if we were doing our buttonhole stitch that we could do some over edging. So you can even do that in a single layer with this foot. So it's really convenient. One of the places I really like to use it too is I love to use it when I'm doing quilt edging. So let's go ahead and just get this thread back there. It's got a little gate right there, and you would just start stitching. I'm going to have to select that stitch. So let's show you real quick on the screen where we're going to find these stitches. This is where we're going to start maneuvering into what we call the sewing applications menu. So we've shown you some utility stitches in the buttonhole, and these are your decorative stitches. We're going to move to the little t-shirt. Right down here at the bottom, you see that you've got a sewing needle stitching. This is like a quilting motif, and this is plus. Plus means these are options that are set up for the machine, but they may be accessories that are not included. So these would be things you would purchase like beading foot, piping foot, couching foot, extra. So right here, as we scroll around, we want to do an over edge woven. You can see it's this button right here, so we'll just pick it. Again, it's already showing you what foot that they're recommending. And if you have a lot of layers or just one layer, something like that, this is where you can make those choices. So we're picking this one because this is just a single layer on the machine. And let's see if we can get you in a little closer so you can see really good. And I'll pull it up to the camera so you can see really well. So I'm going to bring this buttonhole up, and now we're all set. And here we go. We'll just start sewing. Oh, guess what? I'm not plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and plug my foot control in now. So we showed you what happens without it. I love it for that buttonhole. But for most applications, I do like to use my foot. So I'm just going to let that, it'll sew in. It'll be okay. So if I have something like the quilt edge right there, this little gate is going to gather any loose threads into that stitch to close that edge. And that's why that little quilt piece that I showed you looked so good, because all the little edges were just pushed in and held into the stitch, kind of like a serger stitch. So I'll just stop it real quick and we'll just cut it. So this is just a single layer right there. But if you need to have some over edging and make everything nice and neat and clean, this is a super easy way to do it. You can also do it with multiple layers. One of my most practical uses for this stitch, as I said, is if I'm getting ready to put, say, some binding onto a quilt, and I want all of these layers to hold together, I absolutely love to use this feature. And you can see right here, the little gate is going to push everything inside. And this is where you would choose that 3 layers, because this is pretty thick. So you can see this will just keep everything lined up. And as you go around, you can even loosen up the presser foot pressure if the sandwich is thick. And then when you apply your binding, everything is going to lay perfectly, beautifully, smooth, and flat. And it prevents any roll of this space right here. Okay, so right here, now that we have this area is a little thickened and a little stabilized. So when I put that binding on and I pull it around to the other side, this is a little stiffer and a little held in place So I don't get this roll when I do that. I absolutely love how that fills up that binding space for you. Okay, so that is the overcasting foot. And this is where we've shown the first item that's in that sewing applications menu, which is the little t-shirt. So I use that so much. It is really a powerful way to sew around. We're going to go ahead and grab a couple of other demos that we're going to show now. The last one that's in that grouping that I thought I would do is the applique. So I've got a little sample here. Let me find it. All right, I got it all ready for you. And I'm just using just some scrap batting, just because that's what I had available real quickly. But let's say we want to applique around this. Janome has a fabulous applique stitch, and we're going to get out the F2 foot. That's the one that I like to use. We have two, and I'll show you both of them, and I'll tell you why I like the F2. I like actually both of them for different purposes, but my favorite stitch sits beautifully with this F2 foot, so we'll show you both of them. Okay, so here's what they look like. So one is open in the center right there. It's got a lot of visibility. And then the F has this little red arrow right in the center like that. So it's really, really easy to use both of these. Now I'm going to bring this one a little closer. This is the F2, and it has a little cut right on the side there for the thread. And that's where I'm going to line up my applique. And I'm going to show you why that is. When we put this on, as I run this down, oh, sorry. I think I said F2, I meant F1. Here we go. Here's the little slit right there. So right on the edge of the applique, I'm going to put that little cut right along the outside, and the needle's going to be aligned to ride right along this outer edge. And then Janome has some unique features about how we can turn the corner right here. So I'm going to show you that also. So here's my, again, I said F2, I meant the F1 foot. So that's the foot that we've got on right now. Anytime you're doing decorative sewing, these feet are also really practical because they have a little bit of space underneath here. You have these twin blades and there's a little room right here. So if I have a bulky decorative stitch that has some thread buildup, they're going to slide much more smoothly using these monogram style feet than they would just with the straight A foot. So you'll see that this is the recommended foot when you do applique or many of the decorative stitches. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to show you where this is. We have done some of these sewing things, and now I'm going to show you real quick. If we go to our little t-shirt, we're going to start exploring the quilting tab. So these are sewing. You can see we have seaming, knits, curve sewing, top stitching, and you would navigate here just by scrolling like that. There's 4 different menus that are available to you with lots of different options, including zippers, all kinds of heirloom sewing, things like that. So this is stitching for sewing function, and this is your quilting function right here. You can see we have patchwork piecing, free motion, ruler work. Here is applique. So we'll select that real quick. Now,
Okay, we have another question.
Yeah, hit me.
John is saying, could you use the AccuFeed in this situation?
With applique?
Yes.
I would think that you could, but you're probably not going to have the same markings on the foot. I haven't found that with the applique that you have a lot of slippage. Typically, we're only doing a layer with stabilizer. So a lot of times with the AccuFeed, you would want it to have multiple layers to feed together. I would say that you probably don't need it. I'm not sure that there's a big value to it moving the stabilizer with you. I mean, the stabilizer, once you start stitching, even a few stitches, it's all going to move with you. But you could certainly try it. But the alignment on the F foot is very useful, and I'll be showing that in just a second. You'll see how valuable those markings are and how it makes it really easy to align your fabric and get your needle right on the edge. So you can see we have 4 choices showing. We actually have 6 in this sewing applications menu. And I'm going to show you real quick. I've got a couple samples here that kind of help you visualize what the different stitches look like before we start. So let me see if I can just make sure this is my favorite, and the zigzag, and we have one more. Okay. So it has 3 different types. It has one that's called the applique stitch, and I'll show that. Okay. And I'll try and get it up nice and close. This is the applique, and it's like a blanket stitch, but what's different from a blanket is in between each stitch you have a triple stitch. So when I look at this butterfly, there is a very defined line of heavy stitching that goes all the way around on the outside of the applique. And then it blankets in. So it's really, really a beautiful appearance. I like the definition that it offers. That's my favorite. So this would be very defined applique style of stitching. Okay, then the next one is, they call this the blanket. And what is the difference? It hardly looks like it's different, but the tack over is very short, and in between there is barely any stitches. The outer stitching on the outside is hardly visible at all, especially if you have a matching thread. So this would be what I would call invisible machine applique, where you really can hardly even tell that the needle is traveling on the outside. And the definition of the stitch right here is very faint because it's such a small little stitch right there. Okay, so that's the blanket style. And then the last one is a little bit more of your standard satin type of stitch, right? So it's a lot of stitching. I'll show you on the back, a lot of stitching, right? So this is the stabilizer, and you can see this is going to lay down a lot of thread. So if you just want some really bold definition on your applique, this is a really great stitch to choose, but know that you're going to need a full bobbin and a lot of thread. So, okay, so those are the 3 styles. And then what's different here, what you see on the screen is maybe where the needle position is. So M means that it's going to ride right in the middle. So if we have a blanket stitch, the needle will tack over from the center position. I like to use this right position, which is that little slit in the foot. And the reason I love it is I can absolutely line up the needle so easily right on the outside edge of the applique by just putting the edge of the applique right through that little slit. So let's go ahead and we'll stitch right down. I'll just start. I've got this decorative thread, and I'm just watching the fabric go right down that slit. And again, we can sew pretty fast with this machine. It does take a lot of stitches to do applique because this is a triple stitch, so it does go a little slower, or it appears to. As I get up to the corner, I'm going to slow down. I want to try to creep right up to the corner and not go past it. And then I'm going to show you some cool features right here. So right there, I'm at the leading edge of the stitch. It went backwards and forwards. And then the next step would be to go forward. So I don't want to go any further. And let me show you a couple of unique things on our applique screen. So when we're sewing, right up here at the top, you have a little ladder and a little corner. If I'm using this ladder and I stop and I start again, and the reason that I would do that is if I wanted to tie off this stitch right here with the ladder is going to do tack, tack, tack at the beginning. So anytime that I'm resetting that feature, it's going to do a little tie off. Well, I'm at the corner. I don't want to do a tie off right now. So I'm going to put it on the corner feature. And I'm going to tell the machine, I want you to restart the pattern by touching this button right here. So there's 2 things that I've done. I've chosen so it won't do the locking stitch when it restarts the pattern. And I've told the machine I'm turning the corner and I'm going to restart the pattern. I'm also going to show you this button right here. This is the hover feature. And what this does is when I stop sewing and the needle is down, the foot is going to lift up. So when I'm ready to pivot to realign for the next stitch, let me show you what that's going to look like. As I'm sewing, you can see that my foot is up right now, and it will automatically go down, and it's going to start the pattern again. It's going to start that applique triple stitch, and that means that it'll move down a little bit from the corner so that it can have a beautiful corner. If I didn't restart the pattern and it was in the middle of a stitch where it was going to go backwards on the triple stitch, then it would sew backwards off the corner. So the purpose of having that is to make sure that when I get to the corner and I line it up right at the top of the corner, then I don't have any stitches that go beyond my applique in a way that I don't want. So I'm right at the corner, my foot is elevated, I can pivot and line it right up. If for some reason the needle wasn't where I want it, I'm just going to literally move it a little bit so I can get it to take the stitch that I want. I'll just line it right up at the tip, and now I'm ready to go. Once I push that foot control down, then I'm ready to go ahead and sew. Another thing that's really easy on this screen is, say you're sewing a heart or a star or something where it skinnies out to a point. Like this is wide, this is a 90-degree angle. But if I have a narrow piece on my applique, I can right on the screen just tick the width of the zag over down to a little small amount, like 1.8 or whatever, instead of 3.5. And then as you come into those little narrow points and you come out on the other side, then your little hooks over won't necessarily cross each other, and you'll still have a really pretty look to your applique. So this screen makes it super easy to manipulate to get exactly what you want. So we'll do this last corner, and then I'm going to show you that locking feature, what happens at the end. Okay, so I'm right at my corner. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to press that restart button, and then we'll start with this corner, and we'll just sew right down. When I'm done, if I want to lock off this stitch, then all I'm going to have to do is press my locking button right here, and it will finish the pattern, and it will do that locking stitch. Oh, I could have gotten a little closer, I think, but I'm sitting behind the camera. But look at how beautiful that is. So I've done quite a lot of applique, and I feel like this machine does it very, very easily, very well. You can always manipulate it to get exactly what you want with your applique and produce an absolutely fantastic result. So that's a super important quilting feature that is part of this machine and integrated to be able to use pretty easily. And then just here's an example of it, and just a little fun Valentine's Day kind of a thing. This is, Valentine's Day card, right? Little mug mat. All right, so let's move on. So we've done a lot of different sewing. Let's get to some quilting features, right? This is what everybody wants to see. Okay, so I've got a couple of patchwork things that I got ready. It's just some little pieces all set up. And I'm going to show you two different ways. And the first thing we need to do when we do patchwork is we got to put this 1/4 inch foot on. Now, I love this foot. So I think that it was John who asked about that. This is the O foot with guide right here. And what's really fabulous about this machine is you also get some extra stitch plates. So I'm going to move this over. So I'm going to show you a fantastic feature of this machine. Right here, without any tools or breaking a fingernail or having trouble, I could just press this button and look at right there. It's lifted up this plate, and I can just take this off. And I'll show you quickly. This one has this large opening. So that's what somebody was asking about earlier. This is the 9mm, and you can see it's really, really wide. So when I'm doing any kind of straight stitching, I want to take this one off, and I'll show you real quick. The plates can easily store right there, and there's room for both of them. So super easy to have it right to hand whenever you need it. And then here's your free arm. If you ever have cuffs or sleeves or pant legs and you want to sew in the round, this has the free arm readily available for you. I'll go ahead and put this back on real quick. Okay, and we're going to get out our straight stitch plate, and I'm going to put this blue fabric behind it really quickly. Oh, where is it? Oh, it's on this other box. I got so many things here, I can't find it. All right, so a lot of times when we look at a straight stitch plate, it's called a single hole plate, right? Janome is so smart that we have 3 holes, but this is your straight stitch plate. And the reason that you have these different holes is because there's some different functions that you might want to use. What's fabulous about this is it's going to move the needle over to the 1/4 inch position with this foot, and I can still use the straight stitch plate. That is so powerful because that means that all that fabric is still on all those 7-piece feed dogs, which I adore. So just pop it down. It beeps to let you know that it's in place. And then the machine said, please make sure the proper presser foot is attached because the straight stitch plate is on. And that's just reminding you that you're straight stitching right now. So no problem. We're going to switch this out for our O foot. And I think I just had that in my hand. What did I do with it? Did I set it down? Oh, here it is. It's in my lap. All right, let's put this on. So you can see if I have the needle in the center, it's not going to break anything. It'll go right in the center. But when I put it in the proper position, it's going to move over. So let's go ahead and do that. This is an example of how versatile this machine is. There's more than one way for me to sew the 1/4 inch. So this is kind of some important information for any of these quilters out there. I'm going to show you 2 different methods, and the first one is the basic method, I would say. So when I'm sewing and I want to do a 1/4 inch, I don't just move my needle over. I don't use this utility stitch, right? See how it's grayed out a bunch of things? Here, I'm going to go to the quilting menu. So just real quick, again, this is your decorative stitch tab and it's available. But when I select it, note that only the quilting icon is available. So select that. And this is center position if I wanted to quilt. And this is the 1/4 inch position, stitch number 2. So I'm going to select that. And right here, it's moving the needle to 8.3, which is an accurate 1/4 inch. But if your fabric is really thick or your thread is really thick, you could move maybe 1 or 2. And this is a way that you could get the scant 1/4. The truth is I don't. I use this 8.3 almost exclusively for quilting, but you do have some variability in there that you get to choose. So every person that looks at that 1/4 inch has a little different vision. And so it has some adjustability in there. So this is just the basic 1/4 inch. And the reason that I like to use it, it's set up at a 1.8 millimeter stitch. This is a secure stitch. So if I'm piecing, I'm not going to have my pieces falling apart because this is a little bit tighter than normal and it works really well. Now, there is a metal guide on the side of this foot. At my last show, I had several people using this and they were asking me, well, how do I get a perfect 1/4 inch on here? So I'm going to try and get you in a little closer so you can see this much better. On the bobbin case, right here, it's moved my needle over and it's lining it up essentially with this 3/8 line right there. One of the things that I have seen in the past is that when people are doing piecing, they are trying to push their fabric hard up against the gate like that. But we don't know how hard you're pushing up against the gate, right? So rather than doing that, I'm going to align right on the inside of this little 3/8 mark, and I'm going to put my needle down, and I can put my fabric all the way to the needle position right there. By looking right here, I can see exactly what I'm getting because I can't see what's underneath the guide there. I can't look under the foot or see if it's rolled up against the gate. This visual is a lot cleaner and closer to you. So when you're stitching, you can just use that I don't like to sew over the pin, but if I have a nested seam that I'm trying to anchor, I try to get the pin underneath the foot, and then I'll make sure that the edges here are lined up properly, and I'll pull that pin out. Sometimes that's really important because you want the foot to hold those fabrics together before you take that pin out. So that's just a little quick tip right there for getting that. And then here's one more. And if I use that hover feature that we talked about before, where it's lifting up, the needle's there, and I can position the fabric right up against the needle and then start sewing. Get it right underneath the guide there. Make sure this edge is also lined up right there. This side wants to be ornery. And then line it up right on the inside of that tick mark and sew away. Okay, and we'll go ahead and cut. And then I'll use my little side cutter here.
Kate, excuse me, are you on the 1/4 inch with the on the straight stitch plate?
Yes, I am.
Is that what you moved it to? Okay.
Yes, it's the standard setting. Do you want to see that again on the screen?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'll show you guys. So this is the setting that is available, and this is the O foot that you're going to use. And it says the O foot right down here. And you have an O foot, there is one with and without a guide. This machine has it with the guide, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So what I was mentioning is if you're somebody that wants to be ultra scant, there is the ability to move this 8.3 over 1 or 2 ticks to make it a little narrower. But the reason that I mentioned that we want to use the bobbin case is I think that when you have the gate, people are trying to push the fabric up against the gate, but you don't know how hard you're pushing. So if you push a little bit, or you push a lot, or just a medium, or you change it in between the stitch, you're constantly flexing how much pressure that you're putting in. Whereas if you look at the tick mark on the bobbin case, it's a visual. It's a very obvious visual that is unchanging and not moving. So it doesn't mean that you're going to sew it perfect, right? It's good, but it's more accurate and it's unchanging. And it's a way that you can just train yourself to line it right up on that line. And as it feeds in, it's going to help you have an absolutely accurate 1/4 inch. So
yeah, that's one thing I like about the straight stitch plate is Janome has 3 holes in it, but the 2 on the outside edges are ovals, so you can make those adjustments, which is so clever.
I love that. Yeah, it's really, really a smart design and definitely helps. You can see that the stitch is such a good quality. See how tight it is and how even? It's just very smooth. So when you're working to get that precision on your piecing, I mean, you're really going to do that. And then you can see, I don't know, maybe I didn't do as good of a job nesting as I wanted to, but you know, look how beautiful that's going to turn out.
Yeah.
Okay,
good.
So that is the basics, right? That's just, if I want to sew with the 1/4 inch, I can just go to this at any time, and I can just use my pivot right there, so I can easily turn the corner real quick. I love it. It's a great setting. But Janome has a really unique, special patchworking that is called memorized piecing. And I thought that I wanted to share that because some people have said to me in the past, like, oh, well, that's not useful. You know, what would you do with that? And I've got some great tips for what you could do with that. So this is the decorative stitch to find that straight 1/4 inch right here. That's the number 2 right there. And you can see it has a P. P means patchwork. So when you see this 7mm patchwork, that's like the European 1/4 inch right there. We're using this right here, the American customary units. So let's go over to this t-shirt, and we want a quilting function. So we're going to the quilting menu, and then there's a patchwork piecing right here. So let's touch that. And I have 1/4 inch like this, and I have Lock-O-Matic, and I have one more that's hidden. And that one is just that 7mm straight stitch. So you can see that there's a lot of different options that are available on here. We're going to use 2 different ones. I'm going to show you both this one and the locking stitch. So this is just straight piecing like this. And if you look on the screen right here, there's nothing showing, but once I sew, I'll come back to this screen and we'll show you how it looks after I sew the first piece. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 1/4 inch, just like I just showed you, and I'm just going to sew down the seam, and you watch the screen and see what happens. So I'm using exactly what I showed you in the last set. I'm just going to sew the 1/4 inch. And I'm sewing without stopping. I sewed the entire way. I stopped 3 stitches after. I usually count 1, 2, 3. And the 1, 2, 3, the function of that is those are my chaining stitches so that I can cut those pieces apart. I try to always leave 3 to 4 stitches in between. And now if you look on the screen, it says same size or different size. So I'm going to press OK. That means that I want it to sew the exact same size. And so now it has memorized that. And when we sew this next piece, watch what happens. So here's the next piece. I'm just going to put it right under there. It's lined up just like I said. I've got my foot on the gas. I'm not going to let go. 1, 2, 3, and it's going to stop. So the machine knows how many stitches that it takes to sew this size. If I want to sew another piece that is that same size, then I would just go ahead and put it under there and sew the next piece. So now, real quickly, I'm going to show you, this is where you can see the value of this feature. I have a bucket of scraps, and there's like a million of these. Well, look what just happened. So this one was not the correct size as these other ones. I could tell because it finished stitching this one and then it kept on going. So now I know right now that when I'm sewing, this piece is not the correct size for this project. This one is an anomaly and not accurate. So that one, off he goes. He has to get out of there. Okay, so if I have my box of 2,000 2.5 inch squares and I set my memorized piecing and I'm just like going like crazy, and then this one doesn't sew properly, I know that that one is not the correct size. I don't have to try to remember it. I just cut it out of the chain and then I just keep on going and do all the work that I want to do. So that's one example of why that memorized piecing can be so, so valuable. Then I have one more. And this one is something I know that not everybody wants to do, but it's cool and it's something that a lot of people do try. We want to do hexagons. We want to do some unique stitching. So what I've done here is I've marked my corners right there, because when I sew a Y seam like this with a hexagon, I don't sew all the way to the edge. I only stop right at the little 1/4 inch dot right there. So let's go ahead. I'm going to fold this piece back right here. And I'll line these up. So corner to corner. And I'm going to put a pin, but I'm going to put it outside of the 1/4 inch just so I can see really well. Because I'm going to need this little dot right there. Now, I want to sew to this 1/4 inch. So I'm going to fold this blue backwards out of the way and open that up. And then I'll line this up right there at the 1/4 inch right there. So get that blue all the way out of the way. We don't want to sew him in. So I'm going to use the edge of my needle right here and just like tuck him way down in there so he won't get caught. So line those up and I'll pin that edge right there. Now I could have pinned this all beforehand, but then you couldn't see it, right? So you can see all the blue here is tucked out of the way. This blue right here, it's not in the stitch. And there's my 1/4 inch dot and my 1/4 inch dot. So when I do this one, I set it for a different size and I'm going to go to the locking stitch. So there's several options on that screen under that memorized piecing. And what I want is when I sew this one, I want it to lock the stitch here and lock the stitch here, but not continue sewing. So I'm going to line up the needle, get that under there. And I want to have my needle go right down into my little dot. Oh, with the camera, I'm a little bit far away. It's hard to see, but I think I got it. So I'm going to start it right at the dot, and it's going to start that locking stitch. And I'll just keep feeding this until I get to the other side. There is a little button on the screen. I'll show you that before we move on, because I want you to see what you're looking for. So right there, when I arrive at the place where I want it to do the locking stitch, I'm going to sew slowly, and when I get the needle right in position, I'm going to hit this button, and it's going to do that tacking stitch right where I want it to. And this is how it knows that I'm at the end of my seam, so that it will do that locking tie off. Okay, so you'll see me pressing that button as we sew, but here we go. We're all lined up. I don't need this anymore. Let's just go ahead and sew. So going a little slowly. And right when I'm ready, I'm going to press that button, and it's going to do that locking stitch right there. Now, it went ahead and it cut it, and the machine's asking me, do I want to do the same size again? Because I have these hexagons like that, and I want to put these two together now, well, it's exactly the same size. They're all cut exactly the same, right? So right there, I've got these all pinned together. And if I'm doing a ton of these hexagons and I want them to all align right at the same size, I will just take this out and pin these together right there. And there's my next seam, and it's memorized and it's ready to sew. So I'll start right at this position, and it's going to stop right when it needs to. So again, we got to line everything up. That's the hardest part. It's a little difficult to see through the camera, but I'll do my best. All right, and then I'll pull this out of here, and I'm going to say same size, and we'll just go ahead and sew. Okay, and it knows it's the end, and it's cut it for me right away. And then I'll just open this up for you. So right there, we got that perfect Y seam. And on the back, when we press it, we'll press it so it kind of goes like in a little fan like that. I'll show you. This one is already pressed right there like that. And you can see that they'll automatically go the way they're supposed to, like so that this one would come down and this one will go like that. And then you just open those, flange them out, and you'll have a perfect Y seam where your little hexagon grandmother's flower garden is just going to lay perfectly flat. So that's an example of where that memorized piecing is hugely valuable, to be able to program that so you can get this same stitch length each time and just do that whole block. It's really, really useful. Do I have to use memorized piecing? No. Tools are always an option for you. They're available just to make your life easier. You don't have to use it. As we showed you before, you can just do general piecing. But if you want those memorized features, then you absolutely can use those. All right, so let's get on to some like more quilty things, right? Because we've done a lot of stuff already. Do you guys have any questions or any comments that you want to share before I move on?
Barbie had a question.
Yeah,
What
Barbie,
was the
go
question?
ahead.
We had a little malfunction here, so she doesn't have voice. So I'm her voice right now.
Well,
Okay.
John wanted to know, so you can move your needle on a straight stitch plate.
Oh, so you can move your needle.
A little.
Mhm.
John, I'll give you one more option, and I'm not going to demonstrate that today, just in the interest of time. We do have a lot of things that we're doing, but this is a tool that normally wouldn't come with this machine, but that is available with this bundle that we're offering. So let me show you. This is called the HP plate and the HP foot. This particular foot, the width of this is actually already a scant quarter. So what's unique about this is that you're going to get this in the machine bundle with this. And normally you would have to purchase this separately. If you'll see on this, the needle hole is way over here on the left. The reason that the HP foot is so valuable is that when you put this plate on, the bobbin thread is coming right off the left side, right into the needle to allow you to sew a ripping fast, super accurate straight stitch. This is the high-speed professional foot, and it is hugely valuable. And it's going to move your needle to the left position when you put this on. That's why you have a special plate, because it talks to the machine. And when you use this, it'll be riding right over that, and it'll be a supported stitch. This right here is a scant quarter. You can actually use the very edge of this foot if you want to do a scant quarter. I do hear people talk a lot about scant quarter. I just use the quarter, right? So, but
Right.
everybody is different. So this might be an option that would work really well for John, that he might like that. But with this one,
Right.
you would not be able to move the needle position. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just, well, personal thing that happened to me is I saw this plate and scared me to death. And so that was the foot. And so I was asked to show it and I go, uh-oh, I better do this. That is the easiest plate to to foot, and you will get a perfect 1/4 inch every single time. It's kind of scary to look at it because of that one hole and where it's placed. But when you have the proper plate and the proper foot on there, you'll just use it all the time. It is amazing.
You will. And I'll show you one other thing. So on the foot, see this little hole right there? Janome has engineered it so that you can't mess up. If I put this on and I don't have the proper plate with the needle in the right position, the center needle is going to go right through that little hole and it won't break your needle. So they are protecting you from, if you didn't have everything perfectly set up, they've still engineered it so it's going to be fine. It just means that it would be sewing through there instead of through there. So when you're using these, you want to use these together so that your needle will be right in the center of your foot. But Janome is protecting you. They're walking with you. They know us quilters, right? They know us pretty well. So one of that's just an example of how we have so many different choices of things that we can do with our machine. I'm going to kind of move on because I know I've been talking a long time. Am I okay? Are you guys getting sick of me yet? I want to show this amazing foot. This is called the Accurate Stitch Regulator. And this piece right here is actually the optical sensor. So don't touch that. You want to keep that clean. Only wipe that with a clean microfiber cloth. Never touch it with your fingers. This can plug into the back of the machine. And this is an optional accessory for this machine, but it comes with it with our special bundle. So if you are interested in having regulated free motion quilting, then you should definitely be trying this, right? So these are the different feet. This one you can use with variable zigzag, or you can use this as an echo guide with these rings, each of them giving you a little bit of more space away from your base design. So this is called the Clearview foot. And then this one with the tall sidewall, it's a 1/2 inch circle and it's very, very tall. This is your ruler foot. And then we have an open and closed foot option like that. Now, this has to plug into the machine. So we have to unscrew the foot. We take it all the way off. There is a basic ruler foot that will come with this as well. If you are not using the regulator, this is the basic ruler foot. And then this is the open and closed foot like that. And those just snap on. That's one of the things I love about that. And there's also one of those Clearview feet. So I'm going to get my screwdriver and we'll go ahead and put this regulation foot on. It's so fabulous and it works really well. And I'll give you a couple tips if you want to use it. So I'm taking the whole anklet. This whole piece has to come off, okay? So just loosen up the screw a little bit. Actually, let me put the foot on first. we'll use this open view right there. We'll put that on first. And then you just snap it up into place, right? There's a little release button on the back and snap it in place. All right, and I'm going to tighten that up just to make sure it's secure. So woman handle that, right? Not ratcheting it to break it, right? Just making sure it's not wiggling around and it's secure. And we have to plug this in. There's actually a plug in the back with a little port. Oh, you guys, can you check that I think that the 9410, the regulator port, I'll have to look and see if that's with this machine, or is that just the 9480?
I mean, Kate, I don't think it that takes the stitch regulator, the 9480,
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll put this ruler foot on, since we're going to go ahead and show that really quickly. And I've just brought out a couple of rulers, and let me show you how we get to the ruler foot settings real quick. So again, we're using this t-shirt button. So we have both free motion and ruler work settings, and both of them are really similar. I'll just show you what they look like really quickly. This is how the machine communicates with you to lower the feed dogs, right? And so when you'll see the feet change right there, that's because it knows that the feed dogs are down, okay? And we'll just select.
Put it back.
So this is what it would be with those floating feet, and those just attached to the regular foot. Those are the two that I showed you that look like this. Okay. All right. And then we're using the ruler foot. So I'm going to show you, if we're doing the ruler foot settings, you would go to the ruler foot. Both of those type of feet, they're all floating feet. That means that the foot doesn't actually come down. It's not going to compress your fabric. It's just going to go ahead and be a little bit above it. But what we want is we want it just a little bit above. So when you see things like medium and light, what it's measuring is how thick is your quilt sandwich right here. If I have a really wide fat batting, then I want the medium setting. And if I have a thinner batting, I'm going to use that light setting. And you can always adjust that right there, no matter what. If I want to adjust the setting, 1.5 is the low setting, and the medium starts at 2.5, but you can always go in and adjust that. So whenever you're working with those floating feet, you want the feet to be fairly low because you don't want it to have a gap between the foot, because the foot's going to compress that fabric with the stitch. So I'll show you what that looks like. I've just got a couple of rulers here, and we'll do just a little free motion as well. All right, I like to pick up my bobbin thread whenever I'm quilting. That's just gonna make sure that I know what's happening with that bobbin. This machine has a 1-stitch stop where it will actually pick that bobbin thread up after 1 stitch, and it'll stop sewing. And that way I can go ahead and bring that thread up to the top and know exactly what's happening with that. So here's my straight stitch ruler, and I'll just make a little line real quick. This is the Janome straight ruler, and this one is 3 by 8. So you can see right here, I want to be able to just move, but notice that my foot is really low. There's not really any room or gap between the edge of the foot and the ruler. So when I sew, it's not preventing me from moving, but at the same time, it's not hovering above. I'll just show you what I mean. Right there, you don't want a space right there. You don't want to be able to stick something under there other than your thread. So that's the height adjustment that you'll want to look for. And then you can see, we'll just move everything together. The ruler moves and the fabric moves together. And then I can change and go a different direction. Here, sorry, I gotta get my foot control a little closer to me. Okay, and what's nice about ruler work is I get those pretty straight lines. I can go any way I want to go, any direction. It's 360 degrees of movement. So you can see I got these nice, pretty straight lines. And then we also have some really fun curvy rulers. This one is like an interior shape. So I'm just going to open the gate and I'll show you why that's useful. If I'm already sewing and I want to put that ruler on, I can just open the gate, close it back up, and now I'm ready to follow that interior shape and make a beautiful little oval right there. Okay, and just pivot to make another one, and you've got a little triplet leaf design right there.
Huh.
So here, I'll just cut it and you can see what it looks like. It's so cute. So Janome has a ruler work set, a starter set, and that one has 6 pieces, including these 2 that I've just shown you. And then they also have something that does more of an edge-to-edge design. And then free motion, like I said, is the same. So you can go ahead and you could use both your ruler foot or any of those free motion feet that I showed you. It comes with the standard hopping foot and 3 floating feet and the ruler foot. So right here, if I can do a ruler, I can also do free motion. There's nothing to stop me from just sewing in between. I don't have to switch feet if I'm using the rulers, or if I'm not using rulers and I'm just doing free motion, I'll just put the free motion feet on and you can just quilt all day long.
Well, Kate, you make that look so easy.
I do have a lot of practice. I was not a natural.
Nice.
It wasn't like I magically could do that. It took me a while, but
Yeah, and that's what we need to let our customers know too, that it takes a little bit of practice. It's not always the first time you do it is perfect, but we do have a question from John. And do you like using pre-wound bobbins or do you make your own bobbin? And if you do make your own, are you using the same weight thread for both top and bottom?
So that is an excellent question, and I'm gonna answer that because I think that is really pertinent. We talked about how this machine has automatic thread tensioning. It's very common that I will use different weight threads from the top thread to the bottom thread, like a 40 weight in the top and maybe an 80 weight in the bobbin. And if you're doing that, then the automatic thread delivery may require that you manually adjust that tension setting to get the best result, right? Because those threads are not the same weight, they don't pull the same. Do I use pre-wounds? A lot of times. Janome has really great pre-wounds, and the other thing that I like about pre-wounds is that they're factory wound, so they tend not to have as many errors because these people are making, millions of bobbins at a time, and they have that process really down perfect. If I want the color that I want, I absolutely will wind my own. And Janome makes that really easy. The bobbin winder on this machine, if you snap the bobbin in and turn it when you push it down on the post so that it spins properly and you just thread it, it will give you an absolutely beautiful, evenly wound bobbin. But if I need the colors to be what I want, then I frequently will go ahead and wind my own because we all want what we want. If I have some variegated whatever, I probably can't buy a pre-wound that matches that. So it's very common that I'll do both, but I am not afraid of pre-wounds. I especially use those heavily for piecing because I want like a 60 weight, a lighter thread, or an 80 weight for the bobbin thread. And so I love those pre-wounds. They work really, really well. This machine is a class 15 bobbin style. The Janome bobbins have a J on the inner post and they're weighted with a little bit of a rubberized, so they don't bounce around. Sometimes if you use an off-brand, you may experience like a little vibration on the bobbin, but in general, I use pre-wounds frequently and I really like them as well. So hopefully that was a good answer. So what do you think? Do you think that you would want to take one of these babies home?
I would.
I don't want to give mine up.
I
love
already
it.
have, so.
Yes.
But I sure learned a lot listening to you and having all the information. It's easy to go to, just have a little bit of instruction, but it is really an easy to learn machine. Boy, does it have a lot of features I wasn't even aware of.
It is, and I didn't even show you like everything. Like I'll show you this one other. I have a sample. We have something called the Mirage stitches, and this is how you would sew it, right sides together like this. Okay, I'll just pull it back how it was when I sewed it. So I was going to do this, but there's just so much to show you, and we can't get it
Yeah.
all in. But you can
Yes.
see when you
Oh, that's
sew it,
cool.
you can see there's little dots in between. Well, what is the Mirage? These pieces are right sides together, and when you open it like this and you pull them apart, then you cannot see the stitching in between, and that's why they call that the Mirage stitch.
That is
And can you
so
imagine
cool.
doing that with a decorative thread, like a
Oh,
gold
yeah.
on the
Bag on a
teal? Like that.
garment. Oh my
Oh,
This
how
is
gosh.
pretty.
just the white, but I could see like using like teal right here, something that like
Mhm.
it's really bold. And so this is just in the decorative stitches. And I think it looks amazing. So I think that would be
It
a really
does.
fun, there's just so many things that this machine can do. So I see that maybe I made a little technical error, that if you want the stitch regulator, which I love, and I think it's
Mhm.
fabulous, that is the 9480 that you have to move up to. So I know we have bundles, and I think I was just a little bit confused about what was in the bundle, but the 9480 is the machine that is capable of using that regulator, and it does make your free motion stitches very, very even. You can set the stitch length, so if you need that, that's something that you would want to look at when you go in. You can check out both of these. The reason that the 9410 is such a good value is essentially you're getting all of the basic things, and you get more power in the future. So it has something called the AccuFeed Flex, which is Janomi's unique box stitch even feed foot. And so that, I believe, is in your kit that will come with
Yes.
the red tag
Mhm.
sale. And that is a huge value. That tool is really fabulous. And this machine does have that capability. So I hope you will come in and see Mary and see Barbie and explore that. And I'm sorry if I took too long.
No,
I
that's
loved
fine.
it.
It was
so
very
much good
informative. It's
information.
what
Mhm.
people want to hear. Yes. So
Great.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And we
And
do a
they said I could
drawing.
they
Oh,
said it
yeah.
could hang
Did you?
around
Oh,
Yeah.
good,
Do you want to
good.
hang around?
because I
Okay.
want to see who
Cool.
wins.
You wanna do
Yes.
prices
Oh.
first?
Yeah. Let's
Oh.
do the prices, and then we'll go on to the drawing. Yes.
Okay, we have this beautiful, wonderful Janome 9410 QC, and it is packaged with a lot of goodies. And I didn't wear my glasses, so I can't see what the individual stuff is in there. But I know the dual feed is there, and the box that Kate was talking about, so you could put all of your tools in there. And Janome they are so generous with their feet. They have just all kinds of awesome things that you can use, especially with that bonus package. And with all its, gosh, it was $54.99 is the regular price on it, and it's on sale for $39.99. And remember, you get all your education will help you with whatever you need as far as learning the machine also. But Kate did such a beautiful
I
job.
know. Yes.
She was just a world of good info, different things that I wasn't even aware of.
Yes.
So
We need to
what do you
play
think,
on
Barbie?
the machine. Yeah. I'd say definitely go for this machine.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cutoff date,
Oh, what was
February
it?
2nd to February 28th.
January 2nd to February 27th.
January 2nd.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
But it's lots
Uh-huh.
of in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So if you
Stop
haven't looked at this
in.
machine, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, now you see what you have. And it is not only does it so cute, so pretty, accurate, it has that bed so that quilters or whoever
Mhm.
can take
Yeah,
advantage of
that's
that.
extra wide table is really nice.
Now you can see
Extra
why
wide
it's such
table
a great
is
one.
really great. Absolutely
Yeah.
great.
Oh
It's like
yeah,
a-
the table, that's
Uh-huh.
part of the bonus. So you
Yeah.
have that, so it extends all the way out. So you have this big table that's going to come with your bonus package.
Yeah. It's a nice.
The table is about 18 by 24.
Wow.
So
Great for
24,
quilting.
Yeah.
18.
Bag
So
making,
really great to
quilting.
support your
Mhm.
project.
Yeah.
Any free motion, any ruler work, or even just for piecing. I just leave the table on. It's really
Mhm.
convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
What else
All
can we say?
right. So, shall we tell them what our secret word is today? Okay.
Do you remember
So,
what it is?
yes,
I don't know what
I
it is.
changed it up today. I'm sure all of you out there think you know what it is, but you don't. Today, the secret word is numbers. It is 9410 because we all
Woohoo!
want the 9410.
Oh my gosh, 9410.
Mm-hmm.
Let those
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah, I thought I'd throw everybody off today.
Yeah. I
Jenny-
can't.
Jenny said thank you, Kate.
Aw.
Oh, we
Mhm.
thank Kate. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So what happens now with the number, since I'm not familiar with that?
They're typing it in and in the comments, and then we're going to do a drawing, and then they will win a $50 gift card to put
Okay,
towards
so-
the 9410.
Yeah. It
So
looks like
that's
a
how
spin.
you
Yeah, and it looks
pick
like
your
a
winner.
spin on the
Whoa.
Woo!
Mary's in the
Just
house.
lost it.
Mary got too excited.
I get,
can't
oh,
win,
you say
Mary.
Janome and I
can't
just get all
win.
excited.
That is so funny. You're crazy.
Barbie made me do it.
Yeah, I made her do it. You can't see below the table, but I was kicking her.
You guys
Oh
are
my
having too
gosh,
much fun
there's-
over there.
Oh, we
I
do.
know.
We do.
We
I
ride
love
share.
that Poppins bag. I'm a little jealous.
Oh,
I'm
isn't that
working that
cute?
weekend,
Yeah.
but that looks amazing.
Yeah. It's a very popular class here. We do it in different sizes.
And is the kit is all part of that $149 fee, so they get
No.
everything that they need?
That's just the class fee, and then there's a supply list that they can go off of too. See what
Got
they
you.
need to bring. Mhm.
And how is it, just a 1-day class or
No, it's a 2-day.
2-day? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. I want that. I
Mhm.
want to make that bag.
I know it's cute.
It is really cute, and it has the it pops open at the top. It has a metal frame in it, so it's really nice. Oh, do you want to go get it? Okay, yeah.
Do we want to
So-
talk about what's coming up on the 28th of February?
Oh yes, while we have you on here, we're also having our preview party, and that is February 28th, open to the public. All our upcoming classes will be on display. There'll be door prizes and snacks.
You get to
and
meet all the instructors. And you
Yes.
just come in, you have
Oh,
we have
fun.
snacks and something
It
to
is
drink for
fun.
you.
Mhm.
And it's free. You just from 10 to 12.
Mhm.
And then you could see those projects up close and personal.
Yes,
See if that's
Yeah.
something you want to do. But it's always a lot of fun.
it is.
Oh,
And ask the instructor, questions. But there's the bag right there. Isn't that cute?
Oh, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's just the right size.
you
it's
can
fun.
do so much with
Mhm.
it. So you
Yes.
can get some
And it looks
Right.
roomy. Like that's the best
Oh,
part.
it's
of it.
very
Poppins
roomy.
bag.
Yes, yes. The big one is
Pull
big.
the lamp out of there.
Yeah, just about. Yes. And it has a bunch of little pockets all the way around too. So it's great
Oh,
for taking
great.
to sewing class too.
Very nice.
Okay. So how
Gorgeous
many
color.
entries did we have? 44?
No, 38.
38?
Logged it in, but I
Okay,
think we give them enough
38?
time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we've given them enough time.
Here
Let's
we
do
go.
it. See who's the big winner. Susan! Sorry, John, you didn't win, but your wife did.
Ask all the questions.
I know.
You did
that
all
is-
the work.
Yes, that is so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
He asked a lot of good
congratulations.
questions, though.
Yes, he
really
did.
Mhm.
Him and his
Yeah.
wife do a lot of quilting together. They make beautiful quilts.
That is
That's so
awesome. I
funny.
love that you can
So-
share that together.
Yeah, you'll have to come in and do some shopping. And we'll see you when you come in, John and Susan.
Boy, it was a pleasure.
yes,
Kate. That
thank
was,
you,
That was
Kate.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank
Appreciate
you so much,
Mhm.
you guys. It was so fun.
Yes.
I hope I get
Thank
a chance
you.
to come back and play with you some more.
Oh, we do
hope
too.
so.
Yes, learn some more fun things.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go play with this machine. Try it all out. So thank you
Well,
for joining us today.
have a great week and happy
You
sewing.
too. Yes,
Ah,
thank
you
you.
too. Thank you.
Bye.